ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. Goodbyes, bad guys, and explosions. As far as the eye can see, and only one will survive. I wonder who it will be. This is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny.
Hello, it's Arkon Rhys back again to complete the tutorial for Red Alert 3. So on to support powers. Let's see how it rolls.
Why, hello, Commander. In this particular lesson,
You three
we're going to be
jokers
covering
again.
top secret protocols and how to use them, as well as the threat meter and some other heavy stuff. To begin with, let's have a look at this here base. Let's say you're low on credits. If at any point you decide that you no longer want a structure that you've placed, you may sell it. To sell a structure, bring up the command menu, select sell mode in the 11 o'clock position, then press the X button over a structure. Press the circle button to cancel out of sell mode. Try selling one of those power plants now.
Done.
He was a good power plant, but you can build another. Don't go crazy selling everything. What would your friends think if you failed a tutorial mission?
You what, bro?
Hey, quit it!
Relax, friend. I was just about to explain to the commander here how to repair. It's pretty important. To repair a damaged structure, bring up the command menu, select repair mode in the 10 o'clock position, then press the X button over a damaged structure. Give it a go.
You'll notice that the repair icon has appeared on your construction yard, indicating that it's undergoing repairs. Structures can only repair as long as you have sufficient funds. You may notice that as your structure is repairing, your credits are slowly trickling down.
Now then, let's talk about top secret protocols.
Top secret protocols is just a fancy term for special support powers you can use. These will affect the battlefield, your enemies, and your units and structures. Basically, they can get you out of a pinch. Keep in mind, you need your construction yard intact in order to use them.
Each faction has its own set of protocols which can be offensive or defensive in nature, sometimes both. As you progress through a battle, you gradually earn security points which you can use to access new protocols. Progress towards your next security point is indicated by a special meter next to your radar. The number beside the meter is your current number of security points.
Now, let's go over how to access your protocols. Open the command menu and drill down to your support powers in the 6 o'clock position. Then select the Top Secret Protocols button in the center.
Okay.
As you can see, this menu has what, like 15 different protocols to choose from. The protocols are ranked by levels, so to access protocols further down the list, you need to access the ones above them first.
As mentioned earlier, there are different types of protocols. There are offense-oriented protocols such as Surgical Strike, which can damage enemy forces. There are more tactical protocols such as Chrono Rift, which can protect your units or split enemy forces. And then there are upgrade protocols that provide passive bonuses, such as Advanced Aeronautics, which toppens up all those weak little allied aircraft. Unlike offensive and tactical protocols, upgrade protocols take effect immediately once acquired and do not need to be activated manually.
Each protocol costs 1 security point. Now, go get Surveillance Suite from your Top Secret Protocols menu.
Will do.
Well, sir. Looks like you've been cleared to use Surveillance Suite. What an occasion. All protocols available to you will appear on the left-hand side of your screen. To use Surveillance Suite, open the command menu, drill down to your support powers, and select it. Now you need to select a target location for the suite. This one's a little dodgy because you then have to select a second location to plot a trajectory. So, press the X button in one area, then again someplace else near the edge of the screen.
Yep.
Give it a go.
Pretty self-explanatory. Let's do hearsay. go.
See that? Make sure to have a look at the
Nice.
notes written next to each protocol, so you're aware of what you're signing up for before you pick one of these. By the way, the protocols available to you are determined solely by the faction you're commanding. So even if you pull a stunt like capturing an enemy conyard, doesn't mean their top brass will open the kimono on their military secrets. Makes sense, yeah?
Next, we'll talk about the threat
Yeah.
meter, which gives you an impression of how much death and destruction is happening all around you in a given moment. The threat meter increases in battle, especially when you sustain heavy casualties. And the higher it is, the faster you earn new security points. Higher levels of threat also influence how quickly your units gain combat veterancy. The higher the threat, the faster your units will become great heroes from killing foes. Veteran units display a little chevron. They're better at killing enemies, and once they achieve heroic status, they automatically regenerate the boot.
Watch how one of
No.
your units gains veterancy by mowing down droves of hostile targets.
Yep. Rank 1. Rank 2. No, there we are. Veteran.
Heroic forces like these can make a huge difference, so best keep them around. Speaking of which, what sort of commotion over there? High speed
Come on, boys.
track.
It appears
Bum,
you
bum,
are
bum,
under
bum, bum.
attack. Take advantage of your high threat meter and vet up your forces while using some of your top secret protocols to assist you. Fear not, for this is only a simulation involving lifelike robots.
Oh, now it's on. Try to build up enough forces to stop your enemy's invasion, then take those units to the enemy's base and destroy it. Take note as you build units that your command point total keeps increasing. This represents the total sum of units you can have in the field at one time.
Remember, you also have access to your top secret protocols to help you take down your enemy. Ow! Whatever. Figure it out for yourself then.
Whoa.
Prospector on duty.
Can you
It's a
do
little
repair
busy
stuff?
now.
Go.
Let's make tracks. You're in good hands, my friend.
Yep, come on. Build, build, build. That. What we got here?
You're in good hands, my friend.
Let's build a few of these bad boys. Oh, not them. They're not very good. No, I see. So I can...
All right, who's my first pickup? You're in good hands, my friend.
Nice.
All right, who's my first pickup?
Nice. Nice.
You're in good hands, my friend.
Excellent. Yeah, I
All
like
right,
that.
who's my first pickup?
Got that.
Multi-gunner at your service.
There we are. So,
I'm all yours.
get these bad boys going.
Multi-gunner at your service.
Is there ability? Oh, just return to base.
The show is about to begin. Multi-gunner at your service. Let me take care of it. Fine, isn't it? I'll just pay the electricity. Just watch.
Did it blow?
They will trouble you no more. I must agree.
Just click on it. What's going on?
I'm all yours.
Oh!
We need repairs.
Now that was pretty nice. That was a good one. Good. So if I wanted to... Can I swap? No, I have to use my units then, I guess. Not to worry, not to worry.
Vindicator, ready for the run. Let me take care of it. It is time, isn't it?
Oh, forgot about you bad
Hey,
boys.
mate, how are you? I'm here for you.
Let's roll.
Let's go then. Eat a tick. I'm easy. High speed, low drag. I'm in. Have at it. Right, let's do it.
Careful of this, because it'll blow.
Let's have a go then. I'm in.
Do first.
Rack off.
Raggle.
Need something out of your way? Just watch. Keen as mustard.
Keen as mustard. Oh, what? You see that? That sucks.
Let's go say hello.
That really does suck.
Just say the word. Bombing run commencing. It's a little busy now. Put him away. Right, let's do it. Let's go say hello. Hold it right there. How's that? Eat a tick. What you got cooking? There's one. Fire up the 50. Cool. Are you ready to play? It's a little busy now. No complaints.
Come on, level up.
There's one. Man that gun. Gotcha.
Is that far enough away?
Get that guy.
Who knows? Who knows?
It is time, isn't it? Consider it gone.
Oh, you're not attacking stuff,
I'm
man.
all ears.
Do it.
Keen as mustard. Something. Take a note.
It's on the take on this, I'm afraid.
Bombing run commencing. I'll just pay them a visit. Bombing run commencing. Don't worry about a thing. What you got cooking? Man that gun! They still here? Just say the word. Just watch. It's a little busy now. I'll job him. How's that? It is time, isn't it?
It is dark. Get your caboose over here. What, lost one or something? Oh no. He just deigns not to come out with his compadres, eh? I see how it is, I see how it is.
This will be their end. Multi-gunner. Dead set.
See the units level up pretty quick.
Smashing work, Commander. You're now one step closer to becoming a serious threat out there. We're done with this lesson. See you in the next one, all right?
Woo! Confetti bombs. Only 2 more, yay!
Back for more then, Commander. In this particular lesson, we'll be going over some of the more advanced play mechanics that will separate the men
Okay,
from the
what's
boys.
he up to?
From earlier lessons, you should be aware of the Allied spy and some of his capabilities by now. Spies can disguise themselves as enemy units. Only scout units, the Allied attack dog, Soviet war bear, and Imperial burst drone can detect disguised enemy units. Spies and Imperial shinobi can also infiltrate enemy structures. When you infiltrate a structure, it'll impair your enemy's base in various ways, which should give you the upper hand. For example, if you infiltrate that enemy reactor, the entire base will power down for a while. Go ahead and infiltrate the instant generator by moving your cursor over it and pressing the X button whilst your spy is selected.
Watch out for scouts. On it like a bonnet.
On it like a bonnet.
Indeed.
Because I am James Bond.
Operation underway. Yes, Commander. You like that one, eh?
Yes, I do like that one, eh? Yes.
Excellent, Commander. By infiltrating their generator, you've brought down their entire base's power, which in turn powered down their base defenses. That will certainly make it easier to destroy their base. Stupid robots. Oh no! It appears the Empire of the Rising Sun is sending in a force to destroy your tanks. You'll need to retreat your tanks back to your base. A clever way of doing that is to reverse move them back to your base. This will allow them to continue attacking those enemy units while retreating to a safer location. To reverse move your units, select them, hold down the R1 button, and press the X button. Go ahead and have your tanks retreat to your construction yard.
What's on the agenda? You heard the boss.
Another benefit of reverse moving is that it keeps a unit's stronger front armor facing the enemy. Most vehicles are more vulnerable from the rear and flanks, so when you retreat from enemies using a normal move command, you'll turn tail and take more damage. Reverse moving allows your unit's stronger front armor to take the brunt of the fire.
Good job, sir. Your units made it back and were able to whittle down those enemy tanks health enough for your base defenses to finish them off. Had you issued a normal move order back to your base, your Guardian tanks might not have fared as well. Incidentally, should the enemy catch you off guard with an attack, listen for audio cues from your intel officer and visual cues on radar to tip you off. To jump to the most recent radar event, just press the select button.
Enemy commando detected.
Or to get back to your main base, press the L3 button.
Handy stuff.
Oh, pants. It looks like the Empire is sending another attack wave, but this time they've come at us with infantry. Your base defenses are strong against infantry, but with that many of the blighters, I don't think it's going to be enough. So, a good way to dispatch large quantities of infantry is to crush them with vehicles. Not all vehicles can crush infantry, so it's good to familiarize yourself with the ones that can. Small vehicles like your IFVs and Riptides are examples of vehicles that can't crush. On the other hand, larger vehicles like Guardian tanks and assault destroyers can crush a man like so many potato crisps.
Harsh.
What's more, some of the largest vehicles in Red Alert 3 are big enough to crush other, smaller vehicles. Anyhow, let's crash those robots.
Grinder
Wait.
in front.
You may wish to assign your tanks to a control group first. This is an important way of managing your forces. To assign units to a control group, select them and hold the square button while holding the L1 button. Do this now, please.
Ready as always.
Good. You may now select those units at any time just by tapping
Go,
the square
boys.
button while holding the L1 button. You can also jump to the group or anything you have selected by pressing the triangle button. Now, please proceed with crushing my robots.
Thought you'd never ask. To crush enemy infantry, select your Guardian tanks and issue a move order behind the enemy infantry. Issue a move command to the designated location with your tanks now. Of course,
On
sir.
it! Squishy, squishy,
Seeing as how
squishy.
that Rising Sun base seems intent on taking us down, let's go over some ways to get your units to protect your base without being drawn out by the enemy. All of your units can be set to different stances, which affect their behavior. All units start off in guard stance, meaning they will auto-acquire enemies that come within their attack range and pursue them for a short distance if they try to flee. Once the dust settles, your units will return to their original positions. We need to have some of our units on defense for our base, but not pursue our enemies. To do this, we need to put them into hold ground stance. First, select one or more of your tanks. Now open the command menu and take a look at all the available stance options. Select the hold ground button to change your unit's stance.
Simple as that, you've just changed your unit's stance. Keep in mind that no matter what stance your units are in, any orders you issue will always be followed. Stances will only affect how units behave when not under your direct control. Now, take 3 Guardian tanks, not counting our field instructor, and move 1 to each of the designated locations and put them into a hold ground stance.
What's on the agenda? Approaching area.
Oh, go on, don't you go it. Don't you go it. Don't you go
Guardian
it.
tank at your service. Guardian tank good to go. Affirmative, sir. Perfect. What say we also set up some base defenses? Each faction has a couple of its own base defenses. The Allies have multi-gunner turrets, for example. Open the command menu, navigate to your support structures queue, and build a multi-gunner turret. Then place it near your tanks.
Almost there. That looks interesting.
Multi-gunner turrets change weapons if you put different infantry into them, though the rocket launchers they use by default should be handy in most cases.
You can also build walls from your support structures queue. To do so, build and place one wall segment, then build and place another along the same row as the first. You'll see the build grid show green to indicate where you can form a solid wall. Careful though, each wall segment costs you, so longer walls are more expensive. Walls are useful for blocking smaller forces like those pesky engineers, always trying to steal your structures. Go on and try building a solid wall at the front of your base.
What, here? Here?
Capital. Now if the Rising Sun attacks, we'll have some extra defenses waiting for them that they won't be able to draw away from our base. And here they come.
Nice. Cool.
As you can see,
Retreat.
they've decided to retreat back to base, but your Guardian tanks stood their ground and didn't continue after them. Had your Guardian tanks followed them back, they most likely would have been destroyed by the Empire's own base defenses.
Yes, the Empire's base defenses are quite impressive. You may need to use combined arms to defeat them. In fact, if you depend overmuch on just 1 or 2 types of units, you are bound to fail. Thankfully, it is easy to manage multiple types of units at once. Try selecting all your combat forces on the battlefield by double-tapping the square button.
Guardian tank. Gentlemen, let's move. Ready as always. Capital. Guardian
Good.
tank at your
Notice that when you open the command menu, you have multiple unit types selected. If you wish to reduce your selection to just one unit type, highlight it in the command menu and press and hold the X button. If you wish to reduce your selection to just one unit type, highlight it in the command menu and tap the X button. You may navigate to different unit types in the command menu to use their special abilities or change their stances. Or, without opening the command menu, simply hold the R1 button while tapping the up button or down button to cycle between unit types. Switching unit types in this fashion makes it easier to use your mixed group special abilities without deselecting the group. We should also briefly touch on waypoint mode for its useful. Waypoint mode lets you queue up move or attack orders. To use waypoint mode, hold the L1 button while issuing move or attack orders as normal with units selected. Your units will complete the orders in sequence.
Nice, nice, nice.
Now, earlier we had mentioned how directional armor comes into play during battles. Another type of armor bonus your units can receive comes from an automatic reaction to enemy fire called suppression. Suppression only affects infantry units. When infantry units become suppressed, they go prone on the ground and continue firing. Suppressed infantry are slower, but more resistant to damage. Send your infantry into that city square there and attack that garrison structure.
Okay.
What's up, Coach? What's the next play? Stay low. Here we come.
Nice.
Banzai! As you approached the structure, your units came under enemy fire, and some of them were suppressed as a result of the enemy attacks. Due to this suppressed position, your units could absorb more damage and in turn deal more damage to that enemy structure, allowing them to destroy it.
Oh! What was that for?
That was for my robots.
Well, good job, Commander. You now know some of the advanced tactics that'll surely make you a worthy adversary on the battlefield. And would you believe it, there are still more advanced tactics and commands for you to learn. Just dig into the options screen for a complete command list. But do that on your own time. This lesson's over, and there's only one more left. We're heading over to it now.
Excellent. The last one. Oh, it's been so long. Crushed that car in that van. He has no decency, that one. No decency. Woo! Last one! Ooh, like that picture.
Finally, the last lesson. Feels good to be almost finished, eh, Commander? Let's get started. In this lesson, you'll learn how to work with your co-commander to help achieve victory on the battlefield. You'll be working with a co-commander throughout the campaigns in Red Alert 3. You can fight alongside a friend, or if you don't have any friends, the game will provide one for you. No matter which campaign you're playing, your co-commander's forces will always be green. In general, you can expect your co-commander to do a halfway decent job of fending for him or herself or helping you out. But just in case, we've set up a handy-dandy interface for you to issue specific directives to your partner. In the upper left hand of your screen is the co-commander monitor. Unfortunately, this won't let you control your real friends, but it's useful when fighting alongside one of the game's co-commanders.
Now, let's go over all the functions. First and foremost, there's a handsome image of your co-commander to remind you who you're fighting alongside. For this tutorial, you'll be fighting alongside the fresh-faced Soviet Commander Oleg.
Commander, Comrade Oleg here. I trust you're enjoying the banality of this training lesson. Hurry up and learn what you need to, so we can get to the real thing.
Right next to his portrait are the various directives you can issue. Basically, you can boss him around. The first is take position, which causes your co-commander to immediately send his available forces to a target location. To issue this directive, hold the L1 button and tap the left button. Then move your cursor over the battlefield and press the X button in the target area. Go ahead, please.
New objective received.
Moving towards the point.
Yep. Oh, all veterans. Nice. No, another way to do it, yeah.
Good. Notice how Oleg promptly responded by sending his forces to the position you requested. Alternatively, you may open the command menu and drill down to the communicator, located in the 9 o'clock position. Here you will find the different directives available.
Now, the next directive is Strike Target. This directive makes your co-commander immediately send available forces to destroy that target, and anything nearby. Issue a Strike Target directive on that enemy boot camp.
New objective received.
Nope.
I got this one.
I should hope you do have this one. Well, they do, so how do they go down there? Destroy the car! I want the car destroyed! Go, nice! Look at those flashes.
No problem.
Objective complete.
I think they're factories.
That is how we do it in Russia. Notice how Oleg immediately responded with his forces. Another option is to use the Plan Attack Directive. This directive makes your co-commander build a good-sized force to eliminate any enemy units in the target area, as well as any enemies encountered along the way. As with the others, to issue a Plan Attack Directive, hold down the L1 button and tap the up button. Then select the target area using the X button. Go ahead and use Plan Attack on the other side of that valley.
Okay. Right. Plan Attack. For here.
I'll see you there, yes?
Maybe. Oh, that's the stuff for that. Those lovely veterans. Oh, what's this? Why is he not there? Why is he not going?
It's time for a little party?
There you go.
Coming over.
Send out some more. That's it. Come on, baby. Go.
Allies under attack.
Oh my.
They're gone from here. What's next?
What's the juice? No! Don't desert your
This should be
colleagues.
fun.
Colleagues? Comrades. Don't desert your comrades.
I'm on it.
Come on. Don't just run off, you.
Anytime, boss. You don't
See that? Your co-commander's always got your back, Commander. Lastly, let's go over the Keep Command Directive. This one makes your co-commander fend for him or herself, and he or she will always do so by default. Unlike the other directives, this one does not require you to select a target, and may be used to cancel the other directives. To issue the Keep Command Directive, hold the L1 button and tap the down button.
Now then, we have one final type of directive to review. During the course of some missions, you will come across what we call co-commander strikes. These are situational tactics your co-commander will use when given the signal. Notice how one has just appeared on the battlefield. Co-commander strikes may appear anywhere, anytime during a mission, and it's yours to decide how best to use them. Let us examine that co-commander strike more closely.
To give your co-commander the signal to execute the strike, select it and open the command menu. This brings up a window explaining the strike. To confirm the tactic, select the execute button. Go ahead and give your co-commander the signal now.
New objective received.
Okay.
Objective complete.
What is the strike then? Hey? Oh, I see. Oh, I thought it was like a special power, but it's just... No. No, no, it's not. What the deuce is going on? Oh, now here we are. Phone them, make them pay. Death and destruction. The infidels will pay dearly.
On that note, great job, Commander. You now have the know-how to work with your co-commander.
I will prefer a human commander.
As you can see, your co-commander can help you do some of the heavy lifting. Now get out there and knock some heads together. Go on, what are you waiting for? A fancy ending with a sappy montage? As for you, boys, the truce is off!
We gotta have a
Finally,
montage.
you jerks! Shut up!
Soviet victory? What's this? Bing! And there you go, peoples. That is the commander training in its entirety. Some of it's a bit tedious, some of it's interesting. That will help me with future battles, as I did just sort of dive in with my friend Rainaroo and learn on the fly some of it. So, goodbye for now. Peace.
Available to you will appear on the left-hand side of your screen. To use Surveillance Sweep, open the command menu, drill down to your support powers, and select it. Now you need to select a target location for the sweep. This one's a little dodgy because you then have to select a second location to plot a trajectory. So, press the X button in one area, then again someplace else near the edge of the screen.
Yep.
Give it a go.
Pretty self-explanatory. Let's do hearsay. There we go.
See that? Make sure to have a look at the
Nice.
notes written next to each protocol, so you're aware of what you're signing up for before you pick one of these. By the way, the protocols available to you are determined solely by the faction you're commanding. So even if you pull a stunt like capturing an enemy conyard, doesn't mean their top brass will open the kimono on their military secrets. Makes sense, yeah?
Next, we'll talk about the threat
Yeah.
meter, which gives you an impression of how much death and destruction is happening all
Cell
over.
mode in the 11 o'clock position, then press the X button over a structure. Press the circle button to cancel out of cell mode. Try selling one of those power plants now.
Done.
It was a good power plant, but you can build another. Don't go crazy selling everything. What would your friends think if you failed a tutorial mission?
You what, bro?
Hey, quit it!
Relax, friend. I was just about to explain to the commander here how to repair. It's pretty important. To repair a damaged structure, bring up the command menu, select
do
repair
it.
mode in the 10 o'clock position, then press the X button over a damaged structure. Give it a go.
You'll
Done.
notice that the repair icon has appeared on your construction yard, indicating that it's undergoing repairs. Structures can
The ultimate showdown, ultimate destiny, good guys, bad guys, and explosions. As far as the eye can see, and only one will survive. I wonder who it will be. This is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny.
Hello, it's Arkon Rhys back again to complete the tutorial for Red Alert 3. So on to support powers. Let's see how it rolls.
Commander. In this particular
You
lesson,
three
we're going to be
jokers
covering
again.
top secret protocols and how to use them, as well as the threat meter and some other heavy stuff. To begin with, let's have a look at this here base. Let's say you're low on credits. If at any point you decide that you no longer want a structure that you've placed, you may sell it. To sell a structure, bring up the command menu, select sell. As you can see, this menu has what, like 15 different protocols to choose from. The protocols are ranked by levels, so to access protocols further down the list, you need to access the ones above them first.
As mentioned earlier, there are different types of protocols. There are offense-oriented protocols such as surgical strike, which can damage enemy forces. There are more tactical protocols such as Red, which can protect your units or split enemy forces. And then there are upgrade protocols that provide passive bonuses, such as advanced aeronautics, which toughens up all those weak little allied aircraft. Unlike offensive and tactical protocols, upgrade protocols take effect immediately once acquired and do not need to be activated manually.
Each protocol costs 1 security point. Now, go get surveillance sweep from your top secret protocols menu.
Will do.
Well, well, sir. Looks like you've been cleared to use surveillance sweep. What an occasion. All protocols
only repair as long as you have sufficient funds. You may notice that as your structure is repairing, your credits are slowly trickling down.
Now then,
Indeed,
let's talk about top secret protocols.
Top secret protocols is just a fancy term for special support powers you can use. These will affect the battlefield, your enemies, and your units and structures. Basically, they can get you out of a pinch. Keep in mind, you need your construction yard intact in order to use them.
Each faction has its own set of protocols which can be offensive or defensive in nature. Sometimes both. As you progress through a battle, you gradually earn security points which you can use to access new protocols. Progress towards your next security point is indicated by a special meter next to your radar. The number beside the meter is your current number of security points.
Now, let's go over how to access your protocols. Open the command menu and drill down to your support powers in the 6 o'clock position. Then select the Top Secret Protocols button in the center.
Okay.